Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to talk about three junior mining companies that have a tier 1 deposit or is close to having one, or could have perhaps. And these are North American exclusive, by the way, so there's 2 in Canada and 1 in the United States. So let's go right into it and look at what it says there. This is not financial advice, this is just my opinion. Starting with the first company that I still think is like hilariously undervalued. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, it's Alaska Energy Metals. Now why is that? This is a massive nickel company in Alaska. And why would that be interesting? Nickel is used in make batteries for EVs, but it's also used in stainless steel production and apparently also in electrical components and apparently electroplating. Create like a protective, cohesion resistant and like finish to items apparently. In automotive parts, jewelry and household items apparently. According to Nickel Institute, 66% of the use of nickel is in stainless steel, 16% is used in batteries, 6% is used in nickel-based alloys, 5% in plating, 3% in alloy steel, and 3% in foundries and so forth. So why is this company of interest to you? Why should you care? This company has, as you can see here, this is just an indicator. Just an indicator. That's not inferred, by the way. That's even larger. But I just wanted to just showcase indicated. This is such a massive company. This is like the definition of a tier 1 deposit. Listen to this. You can just read it there. The company has 5.6 billion pounds of nickel, 1.76 billion pounds of copper, 442 million pounds of cobalt, 469,000 ounces of gold, 3.3 million ounces of palladium, 1.7 million ounces of platinum. This is an indicator, not an inferred. Even larger in inferred. So this is a massive company, and other than they have a massive deposit, it's in Alaska, or like the location is called Nikolai, and the project is called Eureka, or in infer only. Like bro, it's such a massive project. The fact that this company, Memorandum of Understanding with American electrical vehicle manufacturer Lucid, apparently, November 2025, this company said they are proud to support more mining projects that will strengthen the US economy and reduce their reliance on foreign nations. We are grateful to the Permitting Council for including nickel project into the Fast 41 track program. So it's a phenomenal project. It's a massive one with massive amount of nickel. And I started, the reason why I researched for nickel companies is because I recently watched a video about Rick Rule, and he mentioned that in the coming years, oil, copper, and nickel could be very attractive due to copper being in a deficit and you needing more copper. In fact, this company has a lot of copper and nickel. And he also mentioned nickel and oil. And to be honest, I've been watching Rick for a couple of years now. He mentioned he's been very accurate in my opinion. I looked at Cobalt, at least in like high-end EVs or like a long distance or like EVs with long range. Apparently Cobalt would apparently still be relevant, and the fact that copper is going to be relevant as long as human society exists, and nickel would be used even if not in batteries in stainless steel, which is, if I remember correctly, has a 6% CAGR. So it's still in use, and you know, you still have palladium and platinum and gold. They don't have silver though. So this is a phenomenal company, and the only thing I mentioned that could be of a little bit of risk with nickel apparently is the increasing use of something called LFP batteries, which don't really use any nickel apparently, and they're more cost effective, but they apparently offer longer cycle lives. Apparently they don't have as much energy density compared to nickel, manganese, cobalt, or nickel, cobalt, aluminium, I think it's called. And apparently they are more used in China, apparently. Lithium iron phosphate but they still use graphite though, those batteries, which means that companies like Northern Graphite and Graphite One is the American one, would still be relevant in their anode, or like the negative pole of the battery. So that's the first company on the list. I think this is, in my opinion, the most undervalued company on the list I just made. There are 3 companies, and this is US exclusive. So I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it, and let's go over to the next one. And the next company on this list is Pacific Ridge Exploration. Now why is this interesting? The company is supported or have a partnership with the Fiore Group, which is the president of the group is Frank Giestra, a well-known mining investor, and this company is in British Columbia. And this company has in inferred 1.11 billion pounds of copper, or like 1.1 billion pounds of copper. They have 2.7 million ounces of gold and 10 million ounces of silver. This is inferred obviously, but they are still open, or they're still exploring for more ounces and resources. And in 2025 they still have a focus for drilling and finding the resource obviously. They are close close to Road and Power. The project is 100% owned by Pacific Ridge. Apparently they would, when comparing to similar companies, Pacific Ridge seemed like cheaper than other companies like Riesler Copper, Kodiak Copper, and Northwest Copper. Apparently where their market cap is $15 million, and similar companies with similar resource as, like Riesler Copper apparently has $40 million in market cap, Kodiak Copper $60 million in market cap, and Northwest Copper has $70 million in market cap, so this could seem like an undervalued opportunity for people with long-term time frame. This is obviously not financial advice. These are just companies that I find very interesting, that are tier 1 or close to being tier 1, and that's still have a lot of upside and still have barely moved this year. I think this company has gone down like 8% this year. So the fact that obviously this is very high risk, high reward kind of thing, we'll bear that in mind. But let's go over to the next one. And the final one on this list is a company we have mentioned before, which is Manganese X Energy. Why would this be of interest? Apparently it's becoming critical for EV batteries, increase the energy density, increase the life cycle of the batteries. And apparently by 2020 and 2030, allegedly according to the website, there would be a 10-fold increase in high purity manganese demand that this company would be able to then provide. And it's also used in steel, in aluminum, and in batteries, as just mentioned. The fact that this company is supported by Eric Spot, and the fact that the company, or most of the imports for manganese, apparently 30% is from South Africa, 18% is from Australia, 13% from Gabon, 8% from Ghana, 7% from China, 7% from Brazil, and 5% from India, and then the remaining is from different countries. And the fact that this has the potential to be one of the most significant suppliers of manganese in North America, and the fact that apparently they would start final construction and production by 2028 to 2029, which isn't that far away. We're basically finished with 2025. So then like by January, it's basically 3 years this company could produce. The fact that this company would mine the ore, crush it and leach it and separate it and purify it and manage to have a 99.9% purity, that would be compliant for EV batteries apparently. So they would be apparently a part of most of the supply chain for the mined ore to the product that would be feasible to be used in batteries. And the fact that this company would have a 47-year production life, where they would apparently be producing 68,000 tons per annum, where the grade is 8.7% of manganese, which is very nice. So this company seems phenomenally interesting, and obviously it has rallied a little bit. So this, out of the two other ones, seem like the closest one to production. And the thing is that, but this is one that has obviously rallied the most this year. I think it's rallied 200%, whereas the two other ones just mentioned have not moved this year. I think they've gone down 10% this year, even though most of them have gone up, or like in the junior mining sector. The fact that this has such a tremendous resource, and the fact that they also signed an MOU with the US battery technology leader C4V, where they apparently would provide a sample to check if they were trying to qualify the sample from Manganese X Energy for its gigafactory to produce batteries. Where C4V is apparently a US battery technology company that is a leader in renewable battery technology, is involved in some of the largest gigafactories. Very interesting, all these companies. So I hope this has been thoroughly enjoyable. Like and subscribe if you're interested in more news or stocks that I find interesting that is in the commodity or resource sector. This channel is just exclusively about resource stocks and commodity, because that's what interests me, because there's a deficit in most of commodities, and the fact that to keep our living standards high, we need minerals and metals. So there's obviously a little bit of an incentive promoting, but like showcasing companies that provide the materials and metals and make modern life possible. We should be grateful for these companies, that there are people out there who are working diligently to produce the products that are used for us to be able to sustain society. There's a lot of flaws with society, but there's a lot of great things too. A lot of comfort and a lot of things, because it's not a lot of fun going out to hunt your own food and to not have electricity and the internet and to be able to buy things over the internet. So I hope you've been thoroughly enjoying this. Like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Peace.